After my boss made me cry for the third time this week, I open up a chat with my online boyfriend. Me, babe. My boss shredded my proposal again, loudly crying face. His reply came almost instantly. My night, what an absolute jerk. How dare he yell at my girl? My night. Don't worry about work tonight. Get some rest. I'll take care of the proposal for you. The next morning, I walked into my boss's office, the revised proposal clutched in my trembling hands. He scanned the document silently. Seconds turned into minutes, his expression shifting from confusion to something unreadable. When he finally looked up, his tone was oddly quiet. Did you write this? Fresh out of college and already drowning in corporate chaos, I had spent an entire night polishing a proposal I thought might finally impress my boss. The next morning, Mr. Sterling, our startup's young, intimidating CEO, held my report as if it were radioactive. Who came up with this nonsense? He asked the room. He was the picture of arrogance, Ivy League credentials, a family name that opened every door, and a face so perfect it could have been AI generated. My co-workers called me lucky to work under him, but none of them knew how merciless he truly was. I hesitated, then raised my hand. His sharp eyes immediately fixed on me like lasers. How did you even get this job? He said dryly. Remind me to have HR review their hiring standards. The room fell silent. My face burned as quiet laughter rippled through the staff. When the meeting ended, I was the one told to stay behind. This is your last warning, he said coldly, tossing my papers onto the floor. Produce another piece of trash like this and you won't have to worry about submitting a third. I clenched my jaw, gathered my ruined proposal, and left before he could see my tears. I locked myself in the supply closet and finally broke down. My hands trembled as I opened my phone, me crying emoji. He made me cry again. Life had already pushed me into a corner. I'd gotten into a top graduate program, but my mother's sudden illness drained every cent we had. I had to give up my studies and take the first job I could find. To make ends meet, I'd started streaming small craft videos online, pottery, resin art, and handmade keychains. To my surprise, it actually took off. People donated, some even commissioned my work, but none stood out like my knight, my biggest supporter. He had donated over $50,000 in total for someone struggling under student loans and hospital bills. That was life-changing. I added him as a friend to thank him, and we clicked immediately. He was kind, attentive, funny. Everything my boss wasn't. Our daily chats soon became the highlight of my days. His response came almost instantly. My night. Ah, sweetheart, your boss sounds like a miserable man. He doesn't deserve you or your effort. My night. I bet your proposal was great. He's just blind to your talent. His kind words broke something inside me, and I cried harder. Me. I stayed up all night for this. He still hated it. He filled the chat with heart and kiss emojis. My night. It's okay, honey. You're still learning. Don't be too hard on yourself. My night. Get some rest tonight. I'll fix that proposal for you. His gentle tone eased the ache in my chest. I wiped my eyes, trying to pull myself together. Then a deep voice spoke from behind me. Is crying supposed to fix anything? I froze. Mr. Sterling stood in the hallway, wiping his hands with a pristine handkerchief. His eyes, cold and unreadable, met mine. If you waste time waiting for life to get better, you'll end up exactly like your proposal, he said, tossing the handkerchief into the trash. Now stop hiding here and get back to work. The moment he walked away, I had to bite my lip to keep from crying again. How could someone that good-looking be so utterly devoid of empathy? Was his blood type iced coffee? Still, this job was everything to me. Landing it had taken dozens of applications, 3 interviews, and more caffeine than the human body should handle. With my mother's medical bills piling up, I couldn't afford to walk away. Not even from a tyrant like Mr. Sterling. Dragging myself back to my desk, I barely had time to breathe before Brenda, my least favorite coworker, pounced. Well, she drawled, loud enough for the entire department to hear. I've always wondered how someone with your talent level managed to get hired. But then I remembered you do have one marketable asset. Her eyes flicked down and back up with mock sweetness. Tell me, who did you have to cozy up to for this job? I was too drained to argue. I just collapsed into my chair and opened my laptop. My online boyfriend had offered to fix my proposal, but pride, or maybe guilt, made me start rewriting it myself. The man had his own life. I couldn't keep leaning on him. By the time the office lights dimmed, I had a new draft. It wasn't perfect, but it was something. That night, after a silent commute and a microwave dinner, I sent it to my knight. He was always online, like he never slept. Within minutes, the little downloaded icon appeared. Half an hour later, his reply popped up my knight. Is this your first version, babe? It's a bit rough, but a great start for an early draft. Me. That's my 10th version. Is it really that bad? A pause, then a flood of hugging emojis. My knight, no, I didn't mean it like that. It's so much better than before. You're amazing, baby. My knight. Don't let your boss get to you. He's just a miserable man taking it out on someone brighter. Oddly, that last message made me smile. Me. Thank you, best boyfriend ever. Face boss. Maybe I'll finally sleep tonight. And I did. Like a baby for the first time in weeks. True to his word, my knight had sent me a polished version by morning. My knight. Go get him, babe. The timestamp said 2 a.m. I couldn't help but laugh. My boss made me pull all-nighters, so apparently I was now making him pull them too. The irony wasn't lost on me. I threw on a blouse, chugged instant coffee, and rushed to work. The moment I stepped into the office, Brenda's voice hit me like nails on glass. Well, look who it is. You seem well rested for someone supposed to be rewriting a disaster of a proposal. Her smirk widened. Mr. Sterling, on the other hand, looks like he hasn't slept in days. I wonder what or who kept him up all night. I ignored her, printing the new proposal and aligning the pages. My silence only encouraged her off to make more trash. Without looking up, I gathered the papers, neatly stood, and walked straight to Mr. Sterling's office. Someone's feeling bold, she called after me. Try not to come back crying again. Brenda was right about one thing. Mr. Sterling looked awful. The man's eyes had dark circles so pronounced they could pass for war paint. He was massaging his temples when I entered. I approached carefully, like a soldier approaching a sleeping dragon, and set the printed proposal on his desk. He glanced up, then started reading. The longer he read, the weirder his expression became. His eyes flicked from the page to me, then back again. He didn't stop until he reached the final line. Finally, he looked up, voice low and oddly strained. Did you write this? My stomach dropped. Was this the calm before the storm? Yes, I stammered, already preparing my apology speech. Then he asked, do you make pottery? Please, Mr. Sterling, give me another chance. I'll improve next. Wait. What? We had spoken over each other. He stared at me, silent and unreadable. I froze, unsure whether to nod, bow, or vanish into the carpet. After a few seconds, he rubbed his temples again. You can go. That was it. No yelling, no insults. No threats. Just dismissal. I left his office bewildered. Was that a good sign? Or a sign of apocalyptic doom? The moment I stepped out, Brenda was ready. Well, look who's back from the guillotine, she crowed. Did the boss tear you apart again? A few co-workers looked up, then quickly pretended not to. The gossip mill at this place spun faster than a turbine. Before I could snap back, Mr. Evans, the boss's assistant, walked in. Brenda's tone flipped like a light switch. Mr. Evans, how lovely to see you. He didn't even glance at her. Lily, he said. Mr. Sterling's assistant is on sick leave. You're being reassigned to fill in. You'll be accompanying him on a business trip this weekend. I blinked. What? My weekend? Gone, just like that? Brenda, meanwhile, looked scandalized. Her? You can't be serious. She can't even handle a PowerPoint without crying. I forced a professional smile, the kind that hid 1,000 internal screams. Of course, Mr. Evans. I'll take excellent care of Mr. Sterling. Brenda's jaw nearly hit the desk. The moment Evans left, she was in my face again, finger raised. You don't deserve this. What did you do? Flirt your way into his good graces? Her finger jabbed dangerously close to my nose. I slapped it aside. Maybe it's because I'm talented, Brenda. Or maybe it's because I'm beautiful and the universe just likes me better. I smiled sweetly. Try moisturizer and a positive attitude. It might help. Her face turned crimson. I should have stopped there, but I didn't. Oh, and the boss. He loved my work. Said I was brilliant. Called me a genius. Actually, the universe, as it turned out, had a dark sense of humor. Because when I turned around, Mr. Sterling was right behind me. Brenda's triumphant grin spread like wildfire. You heard her, didn't you? So unprofessional. And a liar, too. The office went still. Phones were subtly raised to record I was seconds away from public execution. Then, in a voice calm but sharp enough to cut glass, Mr. Sterling said, "She's right." Silence. Absolute, suffocating silence. I was very satisfied with her proposal, he continued. Brenda's smile faltered. My jaw dropped. The man actually looked furious. But not at me. He turned that glacial stare on Brenda. You, he said coldly. After 10 years in this field, you still produce work fit for a recycling bin. I don't even remember your name, and I have no reason to. You're fired? Effective immediately. The entire office froze. I stood there, heart pounding, barely processing what had just happened. The man who'd made me cry 3 times in 1 week had just defended me like a knight in an Armani suit. I still don't know how I came back to my senses. 1 second Brenda was shrieking, and the next she was lunging at me. Before she could make contact, Mr. Sterling stepped in and pulled me against him. My face hit his chest with a dull thud. Solid muscle under that tailored shirt. Ouch. His expression turned arctic under that glare. Every whisper in the room died instantly. My co-workers scattered like mice, pretending to focus on their screens. Security came and escorted Brenda out while I stood frozen. When the chaos settled, I pushed myself away and bowed so fast I nearly headbutted him. I'm so sorry, Mr. Sterling. He caught my arm before I could straighten. His grip was firm, his jaw tight. I braced for the usual lecture, but instead he let out a slow breath, released me, and walked back into his office without saying a word. Was the proposal really that impressive, or had I imagined that entire scene? Once I was sure no one was watching, I opened my phone. Me, babe. You're amazing. My boss actually liked my work today. Party popper. Me and Brenda's gone. Karma came early. Faced with tears of joy, he replied instantly, my knight. That's my girl. I'm proud of you. My knight. By the way, what do you think of your boss? I blinked. Odd question. Yesterday he was the one calling my boss a tyrant. Me. Still awful. He humiliated me first, and Brenda only attacked me because of him. Me. And now he's dragging me on a business trip this weekend. My weekend. Who does that? I hit send and realized I'd just dumped an essay on him. Usually he'd tease or agree with me right away, but this time he didn't. My knight. Maybe he's just trying to help you. He might have good intentions. What? Me? Excuse me? Take that back. You're starting to sound like him. My knight. Maybe he's a bit cold, but he's handsome and probably has a good heart. Me? Handsome? He's a marble statue with Wi-Fi and zero empathy. Why are you defending him all of a sudden? After a pause, my sweet boyfriend returned. My knight. Of course I'm on your side, babe. He's a workaholic tyrant. Total slave driver. Before I could reply, a co-worker rushed out of Mr. Sterling's office. You guys won't believe this, she whispered. The boss was smiling at his phone. Smiling. A ripple of gossip spread through the office. Do you think he has a girlfriend? Someone asked. Who'd date him? Another muttered. I didn't join in. Whoever she was, I pitied her already. Saturday morning came too early. I tossed clothes into a suitcase, checked my mirror twice and headed out for once. Traffic god smiled on me, and I reached the airport half an hour ahead of schedule, only to find Mr. Sterling already there, immaculate as ever, in a black trench coat identical to mine. Even our shoes matched. Fantastic. Now we looked like a coordinated couple. The outfit had been chosen by my online boyfriend, who'd patiently helped me pick something professional but cute. And now my real-life boss was wearing the male version. Good morning, Mr. Sterling, I said brightly. I'm thrilled to contribute to the company's success this weekend. He looked up from his phone and gestured at the seat beside him. Sit. I hesitated. It was a two-seater and the only empty spot left. I wiped it down. He said evenly. It's clean, right? Germaphobe confirmed. I sat, trying to leave a polite distance between us. So, he said, turning toward me, his voice smooth. Is 9 o'clock fine with you? Do you like it? His tone was unreadable, and he was close enough that I felt the warmth of his breath against my cheek. Yes, I replied, smiling stiffly. 9 is perfect. Earlier works, too. For a moment I thought I saw him almost smile. Then he went back to his phone. I, of course, went back to complaining. Me. This man told me to come at 9, but he's been here since dawn and he asked if I liked it. Who likes working on weekends? Is this psychological warfare? No reply. He was probably busy. Unlike me, who was busy dying inside. Then he coughed. I instinctively handed him the water bottle I'd bought earlier. He accepted it, eyebrows lifting in mild surprise, then took a sip. I watched him, frozen. Wait. Hadn't I already drunk from that one? My stomach dropped. If Mr. Germaphobe realized he'd just shared germs with me, I'd be unemployed by lunch. He didn't seem to notice. Scrolling through his phone, I pulled mine out again, desperate for distraction. My night. Maybe he arrived early because he wanted to make a good impression on you. Good impression on me? I typed furiously. Me? No chance. He just wants to remind me who's boss. And get this, we're dressed almost exactly alike today. Total nightmare. Just as I hit send, Mr. Sterling rose from his seat. Lily, let's go, he said. I jumped up. Yes, sir. He paused, glancing down at me. If you have a problem with me, he said softly, you can tell me. I'm willing to change for you. What? That sounded dangerously close to something not corporate. But before I could ask what he meant, he was already walking ahead. Thank you, sir, I muttered, hurrying after him. I expected a conference hall or client meeting instead. We stopped in front of a movie theater. Sir? I blinked. Are we scouting a location for an ad campaign? He didn't answer. Just bought 2 tickets to a romantic comedy. The cashier smiled. Couples special today. Half-price popcorn. I opened my mouth to clarify that we were not a couple, but he beat me to it. His mouth twitched into an almost boyish grin. Sure, he said. We'll take it. Was the company secretly bankrupt? Because he looked way too pleased about discounted popcorn, he led the way inside, a bag of caramel popcorn in one hand. Are you actually a cheapskate, Mr. Sterling? I couldn't help blurting. He stopped mid-step, leaned slightly toward me, and met my eyes. They were darker than I remembered. Steady. Focused. Disarming. That depends, he said, his voice low. If it's with you, I don't mind being one. My brain short-circuited. Before I could respond, he popped a piece of popcorn into my mouth. It was warm and sweet, and for the first time, so was he. For the entire 2-hour film, I sat rigid like a board in the dark. Every now and then I felt him breathe near my ear, a small warm brush that made my skin prickle. It was distracting and it felt deliberate, like he was testing whether I noticed. Was I imagining it, or was Mr. Sterling actually trying to flirt with me? When the credits rolled and the lights came up, I practically bolted from my seat. Mr. Sterling, I need a restroom. All right, he said, his voice low and rough. I'll wait by the exit. I'm not great at reading signals, but that felt big. Before I left the theater, I tapped my phone. Babe, I think someone might be hitting on me. What do I do? My online boyfriend was kind and protective, and I did not want to mess that up. A minute passed, then 2, and no reply. He had been slower to answer lately, and it made my stomach twist. Had he lost interest? Had I done something wrong? I washed my hands, and when I stepped out of the bathroom, Mr. Sterling was standing right there, looking a little winded. He didn't look like the man who called proposals garbage. He looked oddly distracted. Do you need the restroom too? I asked, more to break the awkwardness than anything. I stepped aside to give him room. Instead, he grabbed my arm with a look I couldn't place. Are you all right? He asked. Fine, I said, and meant it, even if I didn't feel it. Something came up at work, he said, pressing a key into my hand. You seem exhausted. Take this. Go rest in my place for a while. His tone was businesslike, but the offer felt oddly personal. The key felt like a hotel key, not a boss's gesture, but he seemed sincere. There's no one home. It's quiet, he added. He hailed a cab and left in a rush, leaving me bewildered. A few minutes later, his luxury car arrived and Mr. Evans stepped out on the drive. I couldn't stop myself. I asked, "Does Mr. Sterling have a girlfriend?" Mr. Evans adjusted his glasses, expression neutral. Yes, he is seeing someone right now. So, okay, he had someone. My hopes and confusion deflated together when we arrived at the house. Mr. Evans stayed in the car. Mr. Sterling doesn't usually let people into his home. He's particular about cleanliness, he explained. The house was all grays and blacks, ultra-minimal and sterile, like a monochrome magazine spread. I didn't touch anything. I just sat on the couch and scrolled my phone. 15 minutes after my SOS, my boyfriend finally replied, "My night, are you okay?" It felt like a late, lukewarm response. I began typing an answer when the doorbell rang. I smoothed my skirt and went to the door, expecting Mr. Sterling. Instead, a man in a bright red tracksuit, beaming like a cartoon, stood there. "Bro, is that her?" The man called, grinning. "Is this my sister-in-law?" Before I could ask who he was, Mr. Sterling's face appeared behind him, sharp and stern. He told his brother curtly to get lost, and if he kept using work as an excuse to follow him around, he could stay abroad. The brother kept jabbering about donations and streamers until Mr. Sterling slammed the door. I realized, horrified, that the brother thought Mr. Sterling streamed himself, or supported a streamer, or was obsessed with one. My opinion of him dipped again. Cheating streamer. Gross. Mr. Sterling retreated to his study, shutting the door behind him. I was about to open my phone and tell my boyfriend everything when I heard a crash from inside, like something hitting a wall. I kept typing me. He's a scumbag. He dragged me to a rom-com, sat way too close. Then he has a girlfriend. What the heck? Me. Ugh. And he calls my work garbage, so I must be garbage too. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed my night. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Not very convincing. I shot back, half joking. Are you falling for my boss? Why are you defending him? His answer came quickly this time. My night. No, of course not. I only love you, my night. But if you have to work with him, it might be better to get along. He had a point, even if it was uncomfortable to accept. Just then, Mr. Sterling emerged from his study, tired-looking and a little rumpled. Somebody banged on the front door and when he opened it a moment later, his younger brother appeared, cheek puffing like he'd just been knocked. The kid complained that his brother had decked him, and I tried not to laugh at his ridiculous self-inflicted drama. Mr. Sterling smoothed my hair in passing and I flinched. He shrugged and said it was just dust, and that he only hit annoying little brothers who wouldn't shut up. He also mentioned he'd called the brother's fiancée and she was on her way. The brother sulked off, making a groveling call. That night we had dinner and to my shock, he ordered all of my favorites, though he barely ate. Afterwards, he asked me to blow dry his hair. In a damp white shirt with a few top buttons undone, he looked dangerously close to being too much to handle. I hesitated, but he said calmly, "All my assistants help me with this." The intimacy felt wrong and electric at once. His hair was surprisingly soft. I almost dozed until a sudden comment, "It's a little hot," snapped me back. I'd been holding the dryer too long. I moved it and tried very hard not to stare at contours seen through thin fabric or imagine things I shouldn't be imagining. Later, back in my room, I finally saw my boyfriend's messages. My night, did you enjoy dinner? My night, I'm glad you liked it, baby. I typed back about the food and about how bizarre the whole day had been, then set the phone down with a heavy, complicated flutter in my chest. I slept until noon the next day. When I woke up and realized the boss was gone, panic hit me. Why hadn't he woken me up? A note sat neatly on the table. Had to head out? If you get hungry, call this number. They'll deliver. His handwriting was precise, almost artistic. Still, I refused to call. What if he found out I'd slept half the day away? I unlocked my phone and opened my chat with my boyfriend instead. Yay. No work today. Slept like a rock. My night good. You needed rest. Don't skip meals, okay? We chatted lazily for a while until a new friend request popped up from someone I didn't know. I accepted it, thinking it might be work-related. Almost immediately, messages started pouring in. Stranger sis-in-law, my brother's cheating on you. Stranger, he used to obsess over some streamer. Check the second room on the left. You'll understand. Stranger, password 0504. That's the birthday of the girl he likes. May 4th, my birthday. The coincidence was too strange. I knew I shouldn't look, but curiosity got the better of me. Who was this mysterious girl who shared my birthday and had stolen the heart of the ever-composed Mr. Sterling? I went to the room and entered the code. The lock clicked open. It wasn't a bedroom or an office. It looked more like a shrine. Shelves lined the walls, each holding a ceramic piece next to a framed photo. I froze. They were all things I had made. There were origami cranes, pottery, even printed chat logs. Childish, almost obsessive. I picked one up. There were no usernames, just text. User 1, thanks for the donation. User 2, of course. I love your streams. User 2, would you be my girlfriend? I can handle all your moods. User 1, yes. My stomach dropped. That was exactly what my boyfriend had said to me once. My hands trembled as I flipped the page over. A name was written there in elegant handwriting. Little Lemon. My streamer name. Everything inside me went still. I glanced at my phone just as a new message came in. My night. What's wrong? You've gone quiet. Before I could answer, the door opened. He was standing there, wearing a black shirt, sleeves rolled to his forearms. His gaze swept from the paper in my hand to my face. You, I whispered. He didn't deny it. His throat moved as he swallowed hard. Yes, he said simply. My heart pounded. I'm your boyfriend. He stepped inside, closing the door behind him. The quiet in the room was thick, charged. It was all me, he said, voice low and steady. Every message, every donation, every word. I stumbled back, my head spinning. He reached out to stop a cup from falling, and suddenly we were face to face, the air between us crackling. Are you scared? He murmured near my ear. Or disgusted? I shook my head, though I wasn't sure what I was feeling anymore. Are you some kind of stalker? He gave a faint smile. No. Just a man who fell in love with you from afar. He laced his fingers through mine, gently taking the paper away. Will you let me be your real boyfriend? I don't even remember how I got out of there. My thoughts were all tangled. The sweet, patient man who'd comforted me online was the same man who'd made my work life unbearable. I couldn't free my hand from his, so he didn't retaliate, just stood there, stunned. That gave me a chance to bolt. I wandered the streets aimlessly, heart hollow. It felt like a cruel joke. I had vented to him about himself. He'd comforted me while pretending to be someone else. Looking back at our chats, the clues were all there. When he'd said dating my boss might not be a bad thing, he hadn't been referring to someone else. He'd been referring to himself and that proposal I'd proudly shown him, the one he said looked like something the boss would love. He'd written it. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more humiliated, my phone rang. It was the hospital. Your mother's condition has worsened. My whole body went cold. I rushed to book a flight home, but every seat was sold out until morning. My hands shook with helplessness. Then a familiar shadow fell across me. Mr. Sterling stood there, blocking the wind. You're freezing, he said quietly, sitting beside me on the curb. It's dirty here, I mumbled. I don't care, he said, tucking my hands into his pocket. I know about your mother. I can get us a flight, but I'm coming with you. The next thing I knew, I was on a plane beside the man I'd just broken up with. Or tried to. But all I could think about was my mom. Don't be afraid, he murmured, covering me with a blanket. Whatever happens, I'm here. Hearing him say those words in person shattered me. I cried quietly, and he just held my hand until we landed. A car waited for us at the airport, taking us straight to the hospital. Your mother needs surgery, the doctor said. It's risky but necessary. Please sign here. My vision blurred. I scrawled my name, though my hand trembled so badly it was barely legible. The moment I was done, my legs gave out. He caught me. "This is all your fault." I sobbed against his chest. "If not for you, I'd have been here sooner." He didn't argue. "You're right. It's my fault. You insulted me at work, then called me baby online." "Yes," he said again, softly. "It's my fault." "You're a fool," I muttered. "You mocked yourself." "Then I'm a fool," he agreed. Eventually, my anger dissolved into exhaustion. I slumped against the wall, hollow. "You must think I'm pathetic," I whispered. He knelt beside me, his voice gentleman. "No, I was wrong about you. You're intelligent, brave, and kind. I misjudged you because the person who recommended you was my rival. I thought you were a spy, so I shouldn't listen to you." He smiled faintly. "No, not anymore." I stared at him, heart aching. "Then would you still date someone like me?" He pulled me into a quiet hug. A nurse rushed over, breathless. "Ms. Hayes?" The surgery was a success. I jumped up, embarrassed to be caught like that. The doctor just smiled knowingly. "Mom, you scare me half to death." Seeing her awake and smiling in her hospital bed made me burst into tears. "And this must be?" she asked, glancing at the tall man beside me. "My boyfriend," I said, cheeks burning. He didn't even flinch, greeting her politely. My mom immediately started grilling him like a detective. He answered every question smoothly until things went off track. "So have you two, you know?" "Not yet," he said with a straight face. "But I'm working on it." "Mom!" I yelped. She just laughed, squeezing my hand. My Lily's always been clumsy. I worried she'd end up alone. "But seeing you two, I can finally relax." "Whatever," he whispered after that, it made her absolutely adore him. On the way back, I teased him. "You totally won her over." He smiled. "She loves you. And since you love me, it's natural she'd love me too." I rolled my eyes and shoved him playfully. "When did I ever say I loved you?" He leaned closer. "I love you," he said simply, then kissed me. His lips tasted faintly of strawberries. I eventually started streaming again. It was something that made me happy. On my second day back, a rich user started throwing huge donations. "You really don't have to do that," I said, laughing. He donated more. Before I could react, another user entered the chat. Mr. Sterling under his main account. He immediately banned the donor. "Do that again and I'll buy your company," he typed. I sighed, overprotective as ever. A few seconds later, a private message popped up from another account. "Rich guy. Sis-in-law. I swear I was just being supportive. Please tell my brother not to destroy my business. Rich guy. Congrats on taming the beast, by the way." I couldn't help laughing and showed the messages to Mr. Sterling. "Asher, your brother's begging for mercy." He just smirked. "Asher." His words are insolent, but the title fits.